Hello. Check this out. I bet you've never seen a radio like this before. This is a Sony transistor radio from around 1969. No, I don't have a model number. This is a very weird, almost some people, I've been asking around, see if I can get any help identifying this. The nameplate or model number plate on the rear is missing. Some people have called this an executive radio that an executive would have on their desk. I can kind of see that. Yeah, I guess let's just kind of go over what it is. It has this weird plastic shroud around the back, and I'll take this apart a bit later to show it, but there is two curved outlets on the back here, one on either side, and then there's a rear-facing speaker in the center. And so this projects the audio from the rear-facing speaker forward. It also has a little tweeter in behind here. And pretty basic radio, volume, tone control. It's AM, FM. I have little controls on the side here. It's your FM AM switch, which incidentally is really janky. By using some contact cleaner in the switch, it gummed up, and I had to go and use fluid film, of all things. And that actually worked. The connection is still good, and the switch glides a little bit easier because this janky mechanism jams up very easily. Your tuning control and your AFC, automatic frequency control, for FM stations. This switch is direct, so it's not problematic. Let's power it on.
Tico. Well, it's 9 minutes past 5 o'clock.
Second base, bro. I sat at second base. Unbelievable. Invisible. It's a good one. Who else?
What you need to understand is that you have to... Matatandaan na ibinahagi ni Senator Christopher Bongo sa pamamagitan ng Facebook Live.
So as you can hear, lots of noise on AM. That's normal in the basement down here. FM sounds fine. I did have the AFC off. On the AFC is decent. It still doesn't suck the station in very well, but it does improve it slightly. It goes really loud though, like really loud, especially on AM. That volume control was this high, and it goes from 0 to about 50 real fast. Then the remaining range is like the other 50%. And I remember finding old radios like this, not like this one, but similar when I was a kid, and a lot of them would always just have this stupidly loud volume that you'd have this, and it was always sliders. I'm wondering if maybe this slider has a problem. But they would always just jump into like a stupid high volume, and you'd, in a reasonable listening situation, you'd always have it down here. Okay, that's all cool. But what about dynamic range? Well, this is a unique control to this. I mean, shape is unique, but this is very unique. Dynamic range refers to the range from the loudest to the quietest parts of the audio, right? So if you're watching a movie and people are talking and it's very quiet and you can hear a bunch of details, you can hear crickets chirp, and then a building explodes and it's super loud, that represents the dynamic range of that movie you're watching. When you'd rent a VHS movie and it, was mono, not hi-fi, and the loud parts are loud, the quiet parts are quiet, but they're not that far off from each other. You could watch the movie with the TV volume down, and you wouldn't be waking up everyone else in the house. Versus when DVD came out, or even hi-fi stereo on a VHS tape, and of course all the stuff now, where the loud part's loud and the quiet part's ridiculously quiet to sort of give you that full theater experience. Again, that is an expanded dynamic range. And to go even further on the home theater receivers, and I think even some soundbars have features called midnight mode or night mode. And what that will do is that will shrink the dynamic range. It will bring the loud parts down to be closer to the quiet parts. And on those, it will do it because it's being fed a digital signal, usually with a Toslink cable or even digital coax if it's old school, or over HDMI. And that digital signal has the information that tells you what the loudest part and the quietest part is, right? When you're encoding audio to digital, you know the loudest part and you know the quiet part because you're translating it to digital information. You need to know the loudest or it just clips. There's nowhere to go up. Analog, it's a little bit more fluid. Anyway, that's sort of what dynamic range is. So what does it do on this radio? Well, the best I can figure is this both controls the mid-range EQ. So say you had a 3-band graphic equalizer and you have your mid-range that's right around the vocal range, like say 5,000, 6,000 hertz, maybe 8,000 hertz. 8,000 a little high, 5,000 or 6,000. This will adjust that so you get more mid-range frequencies. And this also seems to control a limiter that will actually compress the dynamic range. And when I first got this, I thought this control didn't work because I'm always leaving this volume at like basically minimum. But I finally said, let's see what happens when I really crank this volume. And all of a sudden this control works. So I'm going to try and demonstrate it now with as best I can with whatever's on FM. Hopefully I can get away with it. So yeah, here, let's take a look. So I hope that came through on the camera and then on YouTube. It might end up compressing it quite a bit through both mediums, so you might not quite hear what this does, but in person it actually at louder volumes really does make a difference. It kind of flattens the whole audio. Those who've ever used sort of the late 70s Yamaha receivers that had a loudness control, very similar to that, plus a bit of a limiter. So yeah. Anyway, let's take a look at the back. So the back, as you can see, is this brown molded plastic. It's got a flat piece here because these are sort of curved. And so I'm thinking, why would it have this little flat piece here? I think you can hang this on the wall with these two holes here. These lower holes are actually closed off inside. We can look inside there. They go all the way through, whereas these ones are open. I can stick my finger there. So I think you'd be able to hang this on the wall, and you can take a look here and you can see the wires can go right through the bottom. So you can fish the power cable and antenna connections, and it's got to record out down the bottom when it's sitting against the wall. I believe this is where the model number plate would have gone. And I almost suspect somebody removed this because they thought maybe they had to get inside, not realizing that there's little screws through these holes. And that little shiny plastic bit there was just a warning label, which I plan to glue back on. So the power cable was this nice brown molded Sony cable that I wish I could have kept on here, but it was disgusting. I mean, this whole radio was gross. I picked it up at a thrift store, I think a couple of years ago, and it was just so disgusting I could not justify bringing it into the house until I had fully cleaned it up and made sure that nothing would, come for a ride. And fast forward, now I unbagged it, cleaned it outside, inspected it, and it was pretty disgusting, and I could not get the power cord clean with that little groove. So I had to get rid of it and replace it, because it just, no, it was gross. It was gross. And taking a look on the front here, let me shut off this light. You have this nice dial light, and it does have an indicator for your band, being AM or FM. Flip the switch here. But yeah, I guess let's take a look inside. This is the tuner board, and this is that janky mechanism I was talking about for the switch. It doesn't quite fully move the switch in its entirety, but it does move it enough to work. Then we've got the tweeter, which is a Sony, but it also has the Onkyo name on it, so this might be an Onkyo speaker made for Sony. This is the amplifier board, and you can see there's sets of transistors on either side for each speaker. Looking around here, there's the power board. And what's silly about this power board is the way it's mounted down there is actually a clamp around the can. So when I thought that the can was bad, I was thinking, well, how am I going to mount this board without it? So I was originally planning on clipping one of these leads and leaving the other one on so that this board had somewhere to sit. But yeah, otherwise it's pretty straightforward. And here's a look at the rear speaker. Again, it's an Onkyo with the Sony name on it as well. Now this had foam all around the speaker and all in here that had just disintegrated, so that's gone. I'd like to find some foam to replace it, because, you know, get rid of that sort of plasticky, twangy sound that you get when you have a big plastic enclosure with the speaker. I did, however, replace the foam on here that seals it up. I mean, as best as I could. You see it just gets completely crushed down there, but it does help seal around here a little bit. And yeah, I guess the last thing I can show is there's another 4 screws that will remove this board, so we can see what's behind and how this back panel looks. And here's what the back plate looks like. So you can see it's got these sort of wing shapes, and this meets right in the center where your speaker is. And then there's just this piece of plywood painted black that holds the speaker in place. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to show this unique, weird radio, mainly because there's no information out there, and it's a very curious design. But also, if anyone has any more information about it, thanks to user Swam on the Antique Radio forums, I know that this is the Japanese version of this is a TFM-9130. That's how I found out it's from 1969. But if anyone has any information as to what I could find out about the North American model, yeah, please let me know. Anyway, that's it. Bye.